I've seen a lot of drugs and a lot of different sci-fi that have been very creative, but I don't think I've ever seen a drug that allows you to see into the past in my entire life.
Right. What's going on? I'm Lloyd.
And I'm Natasha with Konkrete Comics, and welcome to another episode of
What We're Reading. First one for the year, right?
Yep.
All brand new. Here we are, back. Okay, kind of.
Submissions.
Okay, facts. True. And what we're reading today is The Ballad of Valkyrie Sinclaire.
From Royal Oak Comics.
Yes. So,
For weekly book recommendations from us, make sure you subscribe to this channel because we do what we're readings every Saturday. And make sure you like this video so that it can go into the algorithm. And of course, also make sure to visit us on Patreon for all kinds of things that you can be a participant in. But we'll get back into that a little more at the end of the video.
yes.
Also, we've changed up the format.
Yeah, a little bit. We're going to be breaking down these things a little bit differently. We'll start about the cover, the story, the art, and the pacing. So those four categories, we'll dive into it. Of course, not giving away any spoilers or anything like that, and yeah, as best we can.
And of course, remember, we're always talking about books that we actually enjoy. So while we may critique the things, we still enjoy the book. So it's not a critique of whether or not it was good or not, it's just a critique of how good.
Right. So with that being said, let's start with the cover. The cover for both of these issues, beautiful. Absolutely A1. The color choices, the character design of Valkyrie Sinclaire, first off, I really do enjoy.
That falls under art.
It does, but just a little bit about the cover. It looks great. Again, the colors pop. Everything's great.
It's very beautifully done.
Very beautifully done. Standing art, whether we're talking about the exterior or the interior, which we're going to get into in this piece here.
So next up is the art. The interior art, line art, color, everything is beautiful. It's very unique art style, and it definitely fits the theme of a more futuristic, Afrofuturistic, sci-fi kind of punk genre that the story is.
Yeah, I was surprised that there was no color on the interiors, which didn't take away from anything.
I was definitely surprised,
Yeah.
but again, just like we said with Keisha Maynard,
Love it.
It was definitely colorless in a different way than Keisha Maynard was, but it was still beautiful.
Yeah, so outstanding work with the art. Again, if we're going to talk about exterior and interior, you could still get a feel, putting those two together, you can get a feel of what the colors and what the environment, what everything feels like in universe in regards to aesthetic and all that other stuff. So I think they really conveyed that really good, and yeah, phenomenal work on that.
Right, and now we get to the best part. So of course, the story was obviously good because we're making the video, but it was fantastic.
Yeah.
This is probably already my favorite story for the year.
Yeah,
So
it is up there.
We're gonna see how the rest of the year goes before we get to our top 5 at the end of the year. I don't know. This might end up on top.
Yeah, I think I like some of like the espionage and kind of behind the scenes things that's happening there. Of course, I'm a big Metal Gear fan, so any type of Ocelonisms is what I'll call it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like people are getting played, double cross, triple cross, and all that other stuff, and like we really pick up with that right at the beginning, right? Just in that initial conversation, you're just like, oh, why did she do that? Why did this person do this? What's going on here? Like, it's from the moment. Who can you trust? Who's on her side? Whose side is she on? Like, all of these
I don't
questions.
think she is.
Right, all these questions are in this story, and so
And it's great because there's a lot of other questions by the end of the first issue. And guess what? The second issue answers most of the important ones.
Yeah.
But still leaves you wanting for more. So of course they work for this organization. They are, technically kind of undercover agents. And of course we talked about the drug at the beginning of the video.
Nirvana.
Where essentially Nirvana is a drug that when you take it, it allows you to see the past and the present simultaneously.
Yeah.
And it says it on the interior of the book. Essentially in the first issue, Valkyrie is drugged with this drug while she's trying to carry out her mission. So what does she do? And how does she carry out the mission while on this drug? Well,
Yeah.
things, of course, obviously don't necessarily go according to plan. And it leads to this whole big uncovering of secrets and
Which
putting
leads us
people out there and just...
right into the pacing. The pacing of the story is really good. Again, you kind of get that slow start. You get an understanding of the characters that are talking in the initial piece there. And as we continue to expand on the characters, the world starts opening up. And it's like this kind of you're not like just immediately thrust into the world and environment. You are taking this kind of slow journey, and it builds itself
up piece by piece, and it introduces itself as the story progresses. It doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel like it's all thrown at you now, because it's like, now we're in the world, so here's the world. No, it's like,
it's this flawless transition.
And so you're going to learn a little bit more about where we are right now. When you get to the next part, you're going to learn a little bit more about that.
Right.
And it's just really good.
And
they even give you a map in the first issue that maps out the different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And
which was pretty cool.
Given the way things are told in the story, I very much appreciate that. Like, maps are not needed for every story that doesn't take place in our world. But this is one of those stories where it's a good addition.
Yeah, so definitely pacing's good. As we discussed, story is outstanding. Interior and cover art, phenomenal. So if you guys haven't had the opportunity to check out Royal Oak Comics, The Ballad of Valkyrie Sinclaire, definitely check that out.
Of course, as usual, all those links will be below in the description. And of course, don't forget, we are Midnight Comics. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And so definitely check out all the stuff that we have on our various social media pages, especially our Patreon, where we have our community character creation nights, we have our What If Wednesdays, and so much more.
Yeah. And also don't forget to check out our website, www.midnightcomics.org, where you can read our books that of course are on sale there, as well as check out the blog if you want to see some things we've written, or you can check out our indie breakdown, which of course will also be releasing on YouTube later, but you can always check out the
previous season's episodes there as well, as they're continuing to roll out.
And as the actual episodes roll out on Spotify, you can listen to them when you're driving or just doing work if you need something to listen to.
Yeah, so plenty coming out of the Midnight Camp, and guys, thank you for tuning in for this latest episode of What We're Reading. And remember, until next time, everybody, midnight is coming. Sounded Lou.
Welcome to summer night. It's summer night. She let me so late, should've spent the night. No need to hit follies. I'm working her body out. Said she in love with the fitness type.